The NASCAR world is never quiet for long. Every week, something happens, from new car announcements to team changes or penalties that make fans talk. The start of October of 2025 brought three major updates that had everyone buzzing. Carson Hocevar got hit with a heavy $50,000 fine for an incident at Kansas Speedway. NASCAR confirmed that Chevrolet will officially introduce a new body for its Cup Series cars in 2026. And now it's time to break down exactly what's happening, why it matters, and how it could shape Hosavvar's career and Chevrolet's direction going into the 2026 season. Carson Hocevar found himself in hot water again. This time, the fine was $50,000. It's a big number for any driver, but especially for someone who's only been in the Cup Series for about a year and a half. The penalty came after an incident at Kansas Speedway, where Hosavvar spun out during the race. After spinning, Hosavvar's car stopped and safety workers came to help. According to NASCAR, the problem started when he revved and spun his tires while the workers were near his car. NASCAR officials say this created a safety concern. Even though Hosavvar was likely trying to get back on track quickly, NASCAR saw it as careless and dangerous. When fans looked at the in-car footage shared online, the situation didn't seem dramatic. The onboard camera showed Hosavvar's car moving slightly, with engine revs audible. He also sounded confused on the radio, asking what the safety workers were doing as a tow truck pulled in front of him. Many viewers said it didn't look like something that should cost $50,000. However, NASCAR might not just be reacting to that single moment. It may also be considering Hosavvar's past behavior. Last year during his Truck Series days, Hosavvar was penalized for hooking another driver, Harrison Burton, under caution. There were also times when he intentionally spun out to bring yellow flags. He even made contact with Colby Howard in what many thought was a deliberate move. So NASCAR seems to be keeping him on what people call a short leash. For Hosavvar, this may be NASCAR's way of saying, "We're watching you closely. No more mistakes." Even if the Kansas incident wasn't major, the fine was probably meant as a warning. NASCAR doesn't want to see a pattern of risky behavior from someone who's only 22 years old and still early in his Cup career. So far, Hosavvar has already racked up $150,000 in fines during his short time at the Top Series, an incredible number for a new driver. That's not the kind of record anyone wants to hold. For comparison, some veterans go several seasons without a single fine that large. If he keeps finding himself on penalty lists, it could hurt his relationships with teams and sponsors. Still, Hosavvar has raw talent. He's had some impressive runs and shows great potential, but NASCAR clearly wants to shape that energy into something more controlled. A $50,000 fine is expensive, but the lesson behind it could be worth much more if it helps him mature and avoid future trouble. While Hosavvar's fine grabbed headlines for controversy, NASCAR also dropped some big news for the future. Chevrolet will debut a brand new body design in 2026. This was officially confirmed by NASCAR Vice President of Competition Elton Sawyer. According to Sawyer, Chevrolet and General Motors have been working on this project for over a year. The process includes designing, submitting parts for approval, and undergoing wind tunnel testing, where engineers from all manufacturers watch how each body performs under simulated race conditions. Sawyer said all the approval boxes have been checked, meaning Chevy's new design is now cleared to hit the track. This is a big moment because Chevy has been running a version of the Camaro body since 2018, which is 7 years by the time 2025 ends. There were some small updates in between, like a slightly flatter front nose, but the overall shape has stayed mostly the same. However, the Camaro street car was discontinued in 2024, which created an interesting problem. If Chevy doesn't make Camaros anymore, what car will represent them in NASCAR? Ford has the Mustang, Toyota has the Camry, but Chevy's lineup no longer includes a sporty sedan or coupe that fits the NASCAR mold. This leaves a few possibilities. Chevy could continue using a Camaro-like body just for racing, keeping the name alive even though it's no longer sold in showrooms. They could also switch to something like a Corvette, though that might look unusual for a stock car series. Or they might create a new design altogether that bridges the gap between their street models and racing needs. From a performance standpoint, this new body could help Chevrolet regain some ground. Since NASCAR introduced the next-gen car in 2022, Ford and Toyota have both launched updated versions of their models, the Mustang Dark Horse and the Toyota Camry XSE, respectively. Chevy, on the other hand, has been running the same Camaro body since 2022. The results show a slight decline. In 2022, Chevrolet drivers won around 19 races across the season. In 2023, that number dipped slightly to 17, and in 2024, it went down again to 15. Meanwhile, Ford drivers from Team Penske, like Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney, have won every Cup Series championship since the next-gen era began. The number 8 team has also been struggling for consistency and strong finishes in recent months. Many fans and analysts believe the team needs a major spark to get back to form, especially since Busch, a 2-time Cup champion, has not found the rhythm he was hoping for this season. The hope is that Andy Street can bring some new energy and possibly a different strategy approach to help them close the season strong. However, as several people have pointed out, a true long-term turnaround at RCR may require changes beyond just a new crew chief, possibly organizational changes from the very top. That leads to our next big story, the swirling rumors about Richard Childress himself. In late September, several posts began circulating on social media suggesting that 80-year-old Richard Childress, the legendary owner of RCR, was preparing to retire at the end of the 2025 season. These posts gained some traction online, but RCR's official X account was quick to respond. The team's official statement said clearly, "This rumor is not accurate. Richard Childress is not planning to retire following the end of this season." That response seemed to put the rumors to rest for now, although some fans speculate that the team's PR department may just be trying to control the timing of any major announcements. Still, if we take RCR's word at face value, Richard Childress doesn't appear to be going anywhere. After all, he spent decades building one of the most respected organizations in NASCAR history. From the scrappy beginnings of RCR in the 1960s and 70s to the dominant years with Dale Earnhardt Sr. in the 80s and 90s, including 6 Cup championships, Childress has been at the center of NASCAR's growth. However, as many fans point out, the sport has changed drastically in the last 20 years, and RCR has struggled to keep up with the pace of innovation and performance seen at powerhouse teams like Hendrick Motorsports, Joe Gibbs Racing, and Team Penske. NASCAR today is a completely different game than it was even 10 years ago. The introduction of the next-gen car, new technical partnerships, simulator-based driver preparation, and data-driven pit strategies have shifted how teams compete. While RCR has a strong history and a loyal fan base, the results in recent seasons suggest that the team hasn't fully caught up with the new methods. Now, before you leave, don't forget to give this video a like, hit that subscribe button, and also ring that notification bell while you're down there.